tranquil side outside. It's Indian summer. It's nice and warm here. It's hard to imagine what happened almost exactly 40 years ago in what was East Pakistan. You know, Pakistan was carved out of British India in 1947 into Pakistan and India, and Pakistan had two wings. East Pakistan had less area, more people, and West Pakistan had more area, less people. For the first 10 years between 1947 and 58, it had zero democracy, which one has set down. And then in 1958, military dictator Ayub Khan took over and ruled the country with iron fist for the next 10 years. But end of 1968, beginning of 69, he was overthrown by popular upheaval. Another military dictator took over, and now he promised fair elections, and it was going to be according to population. So East Pakistan was allotted 162 seats, and West Pakistan 138 seats out of the 300-member National Assembly. And in December of 1970, almost exactly 4 years ago, elections were held, and Sheikh Mujibur Rahman and his Awami League won 160 seats. So he had an absolute majority. And I mean, the rest of it should have been no-brainer. You know, Mujib should have been asked to form a government, and he should have been the prime minister and so on. No, that didn't happen. Another character named Mr. Bhutto, who won half the seats as Mujib, he said, wait a minute, I'm the leader of West Pakistan, so let's negotiate. Okay. Well, Bengalis have been through a lot of these things before, so we kind of guess what was going to happen. So as Dr. Nabi said, there was so-called negotiations for a couple of months, but in the meantime, General Yahya was reinforcing his troops. And on the night of 25th March 1971, there was an army crackdown which went on for 9 months and they killed 2 million Bengalis and resulted in the rape of 400,000 Bengali women. Now, I would have thought that Western democracies like the US would jump to East Pakistan or Bangladesh's aid because this was clearly a case of democracy versus dictatorship. Guess what happened? Exactly the opposite. President Nixon and Henry Kissinger were more interested in their outreach to China at that time, so that didn't fit in with Bangladesh's struggle. So two of the biggest superpowers, America and China, officially went against Bangladesh's democracy. Now, even in those dark days, Bangladeshis didn't lose faith in the people of America, and that was actually borne out by what happened in August of 1971. The late people, George Harrison and fellow Bengali, Gauri Shankar, they organized a concert for Bangladesh in Madison Square Garden, and that actually publicized the Bangladeshi struggle to America and through America. We sadly found ourselves without any friends. The only friends we had at that time was India, and through India, Soviet Union, and those are the two people who really helped us. Now we can go on and on and on. There's so much, because as Dr. Nabi was saying, my family was also internally displaced. We didn't have to go to India, but we had to leave our home and go somewhere else. But that's not a story. Now, as all of these things were happening, okay, what we need to quite understand is the reticence on the part of, now, okay, I want to back up a little bit. Something Dr. Nabi said that I want to expand a little bit on it. He made a disclaimer, and I think it's the right one to do that. We're not really against Pakistani people, because the government of the military people did it. That is true to a certain extent. Now, I remember, and I'm sure many of you who were living at that time also remember, there was really no complaint or no protest or procession anywhere in Pakistan that I can remember by the civilians saying that, well, stop doing this to our East Pakistani brothers and sisters. Nothing ever happened. So yeah, we have to deal with understanding, but we have to realize that civilians, we know what the army is trained to do, they're supposed to do, that's what they do, and that's what they do. What are the civilians? Was there any demonstration in Pakistan? It has gone under the bridge now. Mr. Nabi has, Dr. Nabi has done something else in when the Pakistani soldiers were released, there was one condition that war criminals among them could be tried in Pakistan by a Pakistani. If you read your book, you'll notice that Dr. Nabi lists about 200 of them, and many of them, if not all, are alive to this day. So maybe we can appeal to our Pakistani brothers and sisters to make sure that those who are still alive or war criminals should be tried. Anyway, the whole thing is very emotional for all of us. As Muslims was reading about where Dr. Nabi went after the massacre, those of us who are from Dhaka University, and that kind of includes, I think, the majority of Bangladeshi here. It was a mental picture. We were following Mushalam to the scenes. We know where Shahbag is, we know where Iqbal is, so we know where I was, by the way, Shahid Miran. And it was kind of very traumatic, even after 40 years, to listen to this, because this actually happened, this massacre happened. Anyway, we all get emotional when we talk about these things, but I will just finish up by reading something that I wrote after I read Nabi's book. Okay, so here's what it is. Okay, from his vantage point in Hungarian freedom fighter, Dr. Nur Nabi experienced Bangladesh's liberation war firsthand at many levels. As a student leader of Dhaka University, Dr. Nabi witnessed the convoluted politics of the 1970 Pakistani national elections, in which Sheikh Mujibur Rahman was his Ahmadi, won an absolute majority of 160 out of 300 seats in the National Assembly, yet was not invited to form a national government by the military dictator General Yahya Khan. Instead, Yahya cracked down on